It's the boogeyman without the bones. Here's your look at the Noble Collection Toys, Bendyfigs, Halloween 2, Michael Myers. Officially licensed by Universal, Michael Myers, as seen in Halloween 2, measures 7 inches tall and includes a knife accessory. Before we get a closer look at the Bendyfig of Michael Myers, who I can assure you is quite bendy, I've bent him 6 times. I'd like to first thank the folks over at Noble Collection Toys that did provide this sample of Michael Myers, the Bendyfig, that we could have a look at in this review. If you guys are interested, would like to procure one for yourself and add it to your collection, I'll provide the link down below where you can get one for yourself. Let's go ahead now and grab the ruler just to see how tall the figure stands. It would be helpful, of course, to get as close to his head as I can get it. Bendyfig of Michael Myers stands 7¼ inches in height, or is about 18½ centimeters tall. And for the sake of sizing, let's bring in some of the other Bendy figures we've looked at earlier here on this channel. Here's Michael Myers next to the remake Pennywise the Clown. And to this case, they're actually about the same size to one another. Here he is next to the Crooked Man. In the case of the Crooked Man, because he wears the bowler hat on top of his head, it actually gives him a little bit higher of a reach. He's a little bit taller than the Michael Myers we're about to have a look at here. As for the stuff that comes with the shape, Michael Myers comes included with a display stand, providing I can actually pick it up. The display stand, I don't know if I've actually mentioned this in earlier reviews, but I'll mention it certainly here. I do like the idea that it's lifted like this, that it's a multi-platform display base, as opposed to making it completely flat. It certainly presents it a lot nicer when you put it on a shelf. And then if we flip the stand up, it's the same type of display stand that we've gotten with the other instances of Bendy figures before. You have 2 pupils and a sort of somber-looking smiley face, because he does have the font down below of Halloween 2. Still has the printed-on cracks, which is a nice touch. And of course, in the case here, the foot pegs will nicely slide into the foot holes on the undersides of Michael Myers' shoes. And then, of course, on the bottom of it, spinning it around. Etched in there is Bendyfigs, down below that, the Noble Collection Toys, and also made in China. You can take the figure, who stands fine on its own, or you can, of course, take those holes provided on the undersides of Michael Myers' shoes and just line them up and fit them onto the pegs. And it certainly does present them a lot nicer. I really like also the fact that they also do put the font down below of what movie this character is pulled from. So, when you do put these on your shelf, for example, you know right away what movie these characters are from. Although if you're a big horror fan yourself, you're going to know right away, especially the bleeding eyes, what movie this Michael Myers is from. The figure also comes included with a serrated knife. How about Mustard? Oh, he's still asleep. It is a serrated knife, as you can see. Not serrated enough that you're going to be drawing blood to yourself, but it's slightly serrated, ideal for making sandwiches or stabbing people. The wood handle's painted nicely in a sort of dark chestnut brown, and you got a silver blade there as well. It is plastic, so while the rest of the figure is bendable, I would not certainly encourage the idea of bending the knife, for fear that, of course, it will break. And take the figure and remove him from this display stand for the time being. Now, when it comes to putting him in his hands, he has a flat hand, so you already know right away that's not going to be good for holding knives. And then he comes with a gripping hand, ideally suited for holding the knife. You can have the knife either upright, or if you prefer, you can also have the knife down, blade side sticking out. And because, of course, he does have the bendable arm, just bring that arm upright, just like that. And now you've got Michael Myers ready for starting to slay people, whether it be the hospital hallways or the streets of Haddonfield. Very, very cool. I like the idea. And of course, none of this would be even successful at all if the figure didn't have bendable arms. And thank goodness he does. Let's go ahead and just remove the knife for the time being. Just that way I don't break it by accident. And getting a closer look at Michael Myers. The fact, first of all, that Noble Collection Toys even put bloodied eyes on this guy is actually quite surprising. Now, not Michael Myers being the surprising part, because, of course, they've done a lot of horror figures in the past. But the idea that they've actually put bloodied eyes in there not only is a nice touch, but really something I wouldn't have expected Noble Collection Toys to do in the first place. He does have bullet hole wounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5. I shot him 5 times, not 6. And you can see when you spin it around to the back, he doesn't have the exit wounds of those same bullets. What he does have, though, is not bullet holes on the back of his body, but instead he has the air holes. Now, these air holes are actually lining up. The reasoning why they put the air holes, now I've already said this several times when we've looked at these figures, It's actually when they put the wire frame in the bodies, those holes are actually part of the press, and it allows then the lines, the actual wires, to stay in the same place and not shift around. So actually these holes are the resulting of the press, and then they basically mold the figure around the wire frame. You can see he has the wire frame down his arms. Not that you'd be using x-ray vision to see that. He does also have a wire frame here and down his legs as well. We're going to get down to the bendy of the figure in a moment. But again, like, the head sculpt is pretty good. It's a bit on the pasty side, I will admit, but it does have a decent likeness of Michael Myers. Certainly more the slick back hairstyle that he has in Halloween 2. The tighter mask against the face of Dick Warlock. Face sculpt, like I said, is pretty good. And I'm really, again, surprised to see that they would have put the streams of blood coming out of his eyes like that. The bullet wounds are nice as well, and they've also painted those in bright, sort of a dark, not bright, but more of a dark burgundy color. They've also painted that around there as well. He does have, of course, his coveralls, which is a nice dark color. The high collar, which also is a good work for Michael Myers from the Halloween 2 film. And as we get a little further down as well, he has his footwear. The boots are quite brown, and at least to their credit, they actually went in there and painted the laces there too. And of course, the under treads also sporting the peg holes, which will attach the display stand that we already looked at earlier. For certainly the case of the bendy aspects of Michael Myers, his head isn't going to be the most bendy. Pretty much the same rule of thumb applies when it comes to these figures. The denser the material and denser the mold, the less likely they are to bend in those aspects. So like, his head won't really have much in the way of bendability, nor will his torso. Where all the bendability will happen on Michael Myers is his arms and also in his legs. And you can bend those, and they do a pretty good job of staying in place. I think the arms do the better of the jobs between the two sets of limbs. The legs, you can get them in a walking pose, but they do sort of start relaxing themselves. They stay to about there, and that's good enough. Actually, in fact, what you could do is have the leg slightly bent, as if he's in a walking pose, and then just attach the other foot to the display stand if you want to give him a more gestured pose. And of course, then to finish off the look rather nicely, take yourself then the plastic knife that came included with the figure, slide it into his arm, or into his hand, and of course, Michael Myers is ready to go. The only thing that's missing in this equation is a bendable figure of Laurie Strode, who of course would be crawling herself in the hallways of the hospital. Michael Myers in fast pursuit, slightly slower pursuit in the background. Really nice looking figure. Again, I was really surprised that Noble Collection Toys would have even had put in the blood in the first place. Bullet holes, yeah, that's one thing. And then not only that, but have the bloody eyes as well. Really nice looking figure. It does a close enough job of resembling Michael Myers. And of course, with the bloody eyes, you know right away without even looking at the display stand which movie it's from. But just in case you're still drawing a bit of a blank, Noble Collection Toys, of course, prints the name of the movie on the actual display stand, telling you right away that Michael Myers here is from Halloween 2. While I may be, yes, staring at the shape right now, I'm also staring at the packaging that comes included with this figure as well. I might even consider holding on to the cardboard that came with the figure because I think the artwork on the back is really nice. I don't know if this is specifically unique to the Bendyfigs, but that's an image of Michael Myers I don't think I've ever seen before. And of course, with the bloodied eyes trickling down, that blood stream down the sides of his cheek, right away you know it's from Halloween 2. This figure, of course, goes along nicely with the rest of the Bendyfigs, the horror line that we've looked at as of late here on this channel. Michael Myers pretty high on that list of some of my favorites that they've done so far. A bit of a soft spot, of course, when it comes to the shape. Now, this one, as well as both, this one and the Crooked Man, I think are my two favorites so far that Noble Collection have toys. Noble Collection, by the way, is also producing a Child's Play Chucky, which I am super, super excited for. Probably won't be the same size as Michael Myers, but he will still have the bendable traits and probably likely his arms and his legs. That seems to be the places where most of the bendables start to settle on the limbs. Not so much on the body, just because he's got the bigger sized amount of plastic that they use, that rubbery plastic that they use on the body. His head is going to be less likely to be able to bend. It's really more so in all these figures I've noticed in the arms and in legs, and that's more than enough for me. I don't expect these figures to have head to toe bendable features because really, again, that wireframe inside the body, the thicker the body mold is, the less likely the figure is going to have a bendable feature to it. So having it in the bendable arms, bendable legs is more than enough for me for Michael Myers. If anything, I'm just going to be bending his arm anyways as he's holding and carrying around the knife. You want mustard with that? I still sleep. Big thank you, though, to the folks over at Noble Collection Toys that did provide this sample of Michael Myers that we can have a look at in this review. What do you guys think of it? Let me know down below in the comment section. And also, if you are new to this channel, you're enjoying the content that you're seeing, if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button down below. Turn on as well the bell notification. So yeah, you're going to be getting those friendly reminders of whenever new videos are going to be popping up. And at the very end of this video popping up will be a playlist of all the other bendy figs that I've looked at earlier here on this channel, with many more to come. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.